Welcome to the Y Planetarium. Tonight, we will visit the far ranges of the universe to recognize the earth-changing value of our volunteers. It's a night of stars. These Y volunteers truly are out of this world. Let's visit our first constellation, Community Builder. The Community Builder is indicative of the hard work of these volunteers as they strengthen the foundations of neighborhoods throughout Atlanta. Our stars are aligned with partners and networks to support the Y's vision and programs.
Emory Alliance Credit Union supports the Y in the community because of what they give back to the children and the community. And we feel that our money can go much farther with what they can do with it than what we can do by donating money out there. The Emory Alliance Credit Union employees are very encouraged to give back to the community either through the Y or just in the general. We do it through monetary donations, or they'll also do it through their time. We have done a giving tree through the Y where our employees will purchase gifts on their own for children that maybe could not afford them. The Y is definitely much focused on the children, the families, and the healthy environment, and that's definitely something that we're very interested in.
We volunteer for a lot of different things, whatever they want us to do. We've done senior dinners, the fall festivals,
swim meets. We've done the kids run, pretty much anything they request us to do, we've volunteered.
Verizon has the Verizon Foundation program so that when employees volunteer their time, once you've volunteered up to 50 hours, they will donate $750 to your cause. And since both of us work there, they get double that benefit.
The reason we like to volunteer is getting to see the benefits that others derive from it. It's great to see the kids coming out and just working on the swim team, or actually working on the triathlon events, or actually just getting to see the kids come out and do fundraising with the fun runs and so forth.
I was an educator for 32 years. It was just a natural progression for me to be involved at the YMCA academies. Early education is so important for children to give them the start that they need going into kindergarten. They are eager, very eager. At that age, they're all over the place. They want to achieve. They're like little sponges, and so anything you give them, they absorb that information. So it's exciting to go into the classrooms and see all the things that they're doing and how productive that they are.
The impact for me in being involved in the Metro Board is really the sense of accomplishment that I get, and the sense of commitment and knowing that you're having an impact in many, many lives across the city. I believe it's everybody's responsibility, but certainly of business leaders, to maximize your potential, not only from a profit and loss perspective or a private sector perspective, but also from a community perspective. First and foremost, my heart is with Head Start. I just simply cannot believe that I have the opportunity, as do my fellow board members, to provide those such necessary services to those families and to those mothers and fathers who really need a lifting hand. Being involved and playing the small part that I do on the Metro Y board is one of the most gratifying things I've ever done professionally or from a philanthropic perspective.
My first connection to the Y was about 77 years ago. I've been most passionate about the young people who are pushed out of school. At our Y here in Atlanta, we try to identify those kids. We want the school systems to send them to us, the ones that they don't want, that they have trouble with. We sent about 30 of them to college this year. My involvement with those kids has been very encouraging and inspirational to me, and it makes me want to do more. It means that I can't slow down and I can't give up. There's a whole lot more to be done. One of the things I've learned is that it's not how brilliant you are, it's how dedicated you are. I got 2 or 3 college degrees and 100 and some honorary degrees, but most of my life lessons I think I learned at the Y. And I was able to make it in these other places because of skills, confidence, and the ability to work with people.
The healthy living constellation is one of the oldest in the universe. The Y has long encouraged healthy choices, and these volunteers put healthy living into practice by helping others to make healthy choices too.
I choose to volunteer with the Y because it's a organization that reaches across our entire community. There's a place for you at the Y, whether you're a beginner or you're at the peak of your physical performance. And there are a few organizations in our community that reach everybody. So I figure when I work and help the Y, I'm helping the entire county, just not people who are just like me. The Y is light years ahead of other organizations in the sense that it's a broad-based grassroots organization. It's not a top-down organization. And our local Y is able to tailor the Y programs to fit our population. That's very important.
I've been a Y volunteer since 1996. I've chosen to stay with the YMCA for a long time because the YMCA is very unique. In a community, the YMCA can serve as a hub between the houses of faith, the government entities, other clubs, and charitable organizations. The Y, in its inclusive foundation, is able to mediate and accomplish things for the whole. I've seen the Y take a leadership role in some areas, such as special needs wellness programs or homeschool physical education, and the Y defer the lead to a more appropriate organization for something such as foster care.
The Why It Matters campaign is important to me because it is how the Y will continue to exist. And the why is important to me. It's important to our community, it's important to our seniors, and it's important to our young people. I work in courts, and I see a whole nother dynamic. It would be wonderful if all kids could be a part of the Y experience. That's why it matters. Everybody has their daily challenges, but we have to make time to give. And volunteering with the YMCA is one of the best ways to round out your schedule and round out your own personal character.
Most passionate about the soccer program at the Y because there's a void in soccer in the United States, and the Y is filling that, giving the young kids what they need at an early stage. What I get out of volunteering for the Y is a sense of helping somebody else. That's what our mission is to help somebody else, and knowing that we help that single mom or that 4-year-old soccer player. Those are the things that our money can't buy, and it's very rewarding to see that. Giving kids the opportunity, and Why It Matters can support that. So if there are kids that can't afford that opportunity to be a part of the program, if you look at the masses, like Mother Teresa said, you're not going to act. But if you look at the individual, you will. And so if you're looking at that individual soccer player, that's what motivates me. It's not like, oh, let's look at the 500 kids that are playing rec soccer. It's that one kid who was me, and 40 years later, still involved.
I began to get involved at the YMCA when my children were 4 and 5 years old, and I enjoyed seeing them progress over the years in swimming, and I decided that I needed to get more involved. When we start the season, we have our parent meeting and we educate our parents on how the program works, how they get involved in the program and volunteering. And then we talk about the organization of how to run a meet. They could be total chaos if they're not organized well, or they could be a lot of fun. The whole thing is that the kids have fun. The parents will eventually have fun. They'll catch on to the events, but it's mainly for the children. It's for the kids. We have so many swimmers that live in different environments. It's so important that they have that opportunity to be able to swim, to be able to get involved. And the Y campaign allows them to do this. As a Y volunteer, the feeling in my heart is full. They helped my family when my children weren't going to be able to swim because I didn't have the money. They helped them as swimmers, and now they're wonderful swimmers, and I thank the Y for doing that for us.
We move closer to the center of the galaxy, to the Nurturer constellation, representing those who encourage and guide our children, our future leaders. Nurturers also seek out potential in members of all ages, with support that can be found only in a special place like the Y.
The mentoring program is important to me, seeing the impact it has not only on the mentorees, but the mentors themselves. And several of our leaders throughout the Y have been able to go out and interview folks within the school systems, athletic departments throughout the community to find out what young men, young boys, young girls out there that really don't have the mentor, the influence in their life from an adult that they really need. Really tying those two up for those who want to serve within the community and give back, investing in a child and finding the right child. The Y has helped me grow spiritually in the fact that I'm able to do what God's asked us to do and go out there and serve and love others.
The middle school, college, and career readiness program that I have been developing and facilitating at the YMCA this year is focused on preparing middle school students to be ready for their first day of 9th grade. There are lots of programs available for high school students, but there aren't as many resources and programs being put into making sure that the middle school students that we put into the high school are ready to take advantage of those programs. The YMCA Youth and Teen Development Center is a vital asset for the South DeKalb and Atlanta communities. I really like how they have students operate throughout the YMCA. So they have students that run the concessions, run the front desk, and they have a whole youth council. I mean, there's definitely a lot of ways that students are gaining leadership responsibilities. If I could choose to do anything all day long, it would be to work with students, preferably middle school students, helping them achieve their goals, working towards a college and career readiness. We don't have years to make our education system better for our kids. We need to do it now.
Why It Matters campaign is the funding to fulfill the mission of the Y, which is to not turn anyone away for financial hardship. It raises money for scholarships for the summer programming, as well as a lot of memberships, a lot of families that are unable to afford the memberships, we're able to subsidize that. The Why It Matters campaign is important to me because when you see what the YMCA means to these families and these kids, without this help, they wouldn't be able to be involved. It means absolutely the world to them. Some of these kids, you know, they're coming from home lives that are not ideal. They come to the Y and the interaction they have with the coaches is just, it's unbelievable. They're just absolutely having the time of their lives. It really just drives home the reason that we're there raising the money, and it's just an amazing experience.
I started playing volleyball when I was 14. I got scouted and I moved to the U.S. to play at Georgia Tech. And I was a 4-year starter at Georgia Tech, and then I just started volunteering. As a volunteer, I am a volleyball coach, so I used to run clinics last year, and this year I'm helping out coaches with their team practices. The team sport, you learn how to act in the team, you learn the leadership skills, you know how to just act under the pressure, and I think those skills can be really nicely utilized in your social and then professional life. I think that being a role model actually puts a lot of pressure on you because you want to act your best and show your best to the kids so that they can look up to you. But it's really rewarding because you can see kids just trying their hardest and their best. They literally live their dream through you.
The Atlanta Braves Baseball Academy at the Villages at Carver YMCA is fantastic. It's the best baseball facility inside the perimeter in the city of Atlanta. The reason why I wanted to become a coach, a baseball coach specifically, is because of the passion that I have for the sport as well as for the kids. One of the ways that I feel like the Y lights the way for young people in today's time and age is through their values. There's so many different things, different distractions that these middle schoolers and high schoolers have in their lives. The YMCA is a positive place that they can go and know right from wrong and learn how to become a successful young man or a successful young woman.
One of the best gifts we can give to a child is to learn to read. The sooner, the better. It's the foundation of all learning. The reading skills, the ability to speak, communicate, listen, vocabulary development, the imagination, it does it all. Reading takes you into all these worlds. I love teaching. I think that sharing information, I learn as much from my students as I hope as they learn from me. And it gives me a sense of accomplishment that I'm making a difference. And teaching is what I've always wanted to do, and I'm blessed to have that time to do it every day. whatever it takes to engage the children. That's what the Y enables me to do, to support them, to give them a solid base so that when they enter first grade or kindergarten, they're going to be ready. Closing that gap for urban children who don't have the resources is a pleasure and a joy for me.
The team worker constellation symbolizes working together in harmony. The Y is a place where volunteers and members extend a hand to help others. Team workers raise the funds that provide scholarships. They become board members to serve the greater good. They pitch in wherever needed. Let's meet the stars of the teamwork constellation.
I'm volunteering at the Y both in a capacity as a soccer coach for 4 different teams, ranging from U6 boys to U16 girls, and then I'm also on the board over at the McCluskey Y. I'd say the most rewarding thing about being a coach is teaching and watching the kids grow and learn and develop the confidence that they can do something that they really didn't think they could do before. Take that and then just keep applying it over and over again. You know, my goal in coaching is to actually inspire the kids I'm teaching to someday carry that forward and teach kids. Everybody has something in them that they can give back. You don't have to be that head coach or that cheerleader on the sideline, or you don't have to be running a program. But the Y has so many opportunities and so many needs for volunteers, there'll be a place for you there.
Since last year, I've been volunteering over 300 hours and counting. I find time because I schedule everything. So I make time for my homework, my friends, my family, and the Y. I would say my favorite is front desk. It teaches you, it prepares you for school, for life. At the Y, I have learned so much about myself I didn't know. I'm happy I went to the Y because if I didn't go to the Y, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be able to do the things I do at school. I wouldn't be all the clubs I'm in. I wouldn't be tomorrow.
I've served on the board for about 3 years. Just the passion of the volunteers, and really getting to know the members and hearing some of their stories has just been very inspiring, and it really encourages me. The Y is light years ahead of other organizations because it can support the community in so many ways through sports, through financial assistance, through just being a support group for many of its members, and I've really grown to see that over the last couple of years. This member was going through a lot of hard times, and the Y for them was really a support group to get them through some of these adverse times. Seeing the impact that it has on that individual really opened my eyes that the Y is much bigger than just a place to go swim or work out or things like that. It really is something that people use to help get through tough and challenging times.
Well, I choose to volunteer my time to help the children and the teachers at the YMCA because it's a win-win situation for all. The experience that I attain spending time with my children is a definite plus. The time that they get to spend reading to other children teaches them fundamental skills. Leadership allows them to be involved in other children's lives. The Early Learning Foundation is very important for the young kids because it's like a foundation on a house. If it's not solid at the bottom, it won't stand the test of time. So I really encourage my kids to get into reading, and I read to them and just develop a love of reading so that it'll last a lifetime.
Camp High Harbor is special because of the environments that it creates. It creates environments for young boys and girls to learn good moral values and character traits and to build relationships during the week that they're at camp. And they come back enriched and a little bit more mature. So I'm a board member for Camp High Harbor. I'm there to support, to provide my business background and expertise, and to volunteer my time, my talents, and my treasure. The counselors at Camp High Harbor are very special. They're trained to interact with adults by looking us in the eye, by having a firm handshake, saying yes sir, yes ma'am, really treating adults with respect. And then they also do the same with the campers, treating the campers with respect, showing them servant leadership, modeling for them what it means to be a young man or young woman of integrity.
We decided to coach basketball at the Y because we have 5 boys that love playing basketball, and David and I both played basketball in college, and it's just second nature, and we just love the sport and love to be around kids.
Grew up playing it. It was one of the things I was passionate about It also doesn't hurt when your wife goes ahead and schedules you to coach and saying that we're doing this as a team.
The two older ones, Cody and Toby, we've actually had them start coaching the youngest group. They are the 12-year-olds helping the 5-year-olds. They'll come over and they'll go, Mom, this gym is too loud, the kids aren't listening, and I think their parents gave them pixie sticks before practice, and the kids come over and they go, how do you do this every time? So I think they get how hard it is sometimes, but they also get how awesome it is to get a high five from one of those kids. We've got a neighbor down the road who has worked through the leadership program for the past 5-6 years. He has officiated the boys in basketball since some of them were 5. I think the kids look up to him. They respect him, they watch what he does and what the Y has done for him and seeing how he's grown up with the Y. And that's just been an awesome motivator and inspiration for the boys.